Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, and we're going to be doing some blitz and rapid, quote unquote, rapid chess here on lichess. Open challenges to the subscribers and everybody else. We'll play as many games as I can between 5 plus 3 and 7 plus 3. Slagy says, please accept my game. Slagy says, Soltigo, please accept my game last or toward the end. I may not play. Soltigo, you're here in the morning, up late or early. Freaky Fun Friday. Is it Friday the 13th? No, 23rd. Alright. No horror blitz today. Yeah, so what's going on? I noticed last night that FIDE has, I don't know how long this has been out, but FIDE has the pairings for the candidates tournament posted on their website. So it's 8 players. It's going to be interesting starting in like 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks, like March 10th or something like that. I'm not sure the exact starting day, but like the first or second week, like the second week of March. So it's been so long since we've really like had a chance to talk about high level chess or a strong tournament or something. I think it's really cool that that the candidates tournament is taking place. My favorite is, of course, Aronian. Mamadjarov is the highest rated. He's been an absolute tear this year. And but I mean, that's different. We're talking about a really important tournament qualifying for the World Championship. I think the older players with more experience, like Kramnik, will have steadier nerves. But who knows? Kramnik is 2,800. I just realized that. I felt like he wasn't playing that well this year. And he still managed to keep his ELO rating at like 2,800. So I thought that's pretty amazing. Thankfully, no Anand in the candidates tournament. I can't bear to watch another like Anand against Carlsen match. I wouldn't even watch the games. I don't think I watched a single game from the second match. March 10th exactly. All right. So Kramnik, however, I think would be a different story. Some people might consider Kramnik like over the hill, but actually, he beat Garry Kasparov in a match. He's absolutely the best match player in the field. So I mean, it would be interesting to see Kramnik play Carlsen. He could definitely like hold Carlsen to a drawn match or something. All right, let's get on with our challenges here. So Morales is first, then Divakaran, and Troll in a Roll. Troll in a Roll, you're third today. Why don't they do it every year? Well, I guess they have to. It takes them time to launder enough money to fund the tournament. It's not that easy. So we're playing Morales. Yeah, we had some interesting French defenses, but wait, Morales. I'm thinking you play the French defense, but you don't necessarily play the French defense. Why do I get you confused with Mule Skinner? Because your name has an M in the beginning. Not the beginning even, but the second letter. I don't know why I always think Morales plays the French defense. It's very strange. I guess it's my big fear that everyone plays the French defense. The defense that I fear the most, I feel the most uncomfortable in, like the winnower like yesterday. I managed to win that game. But Morales, do you really play the French now? Okay, that's weird. Why did I think like I was wrongly accusing you of playing the French? That's stranger than fiction. Alright guys, I guess I'm just waking up. My coffee didn't kick in yet. Okay, so Bishop G7, normally I play like Knight F3 on move 1, but I don't have to do that every game. I play other stuff. This is a weird variation I saw. Actually, the guy I might play on Sunday, Oliver Mihok, who's a grandmaster. I think he has an account here on lichess. I saw Mihawk play this. It seems somehow wrong, but I haven't really looked at this. I rarely play this move order. So knight takes c3, c6, knight somewhere, and then you can just take on d4. That would presumably equalize. I'm just thinking, is there some kind of endgame advantage there? Probably not. So you have to take with the pawn. I don't know what I'm doing here. What is the best game I ever won? I don't know. There's no like one clear game. I've played some good games. Okay, you caught me completely off guard here. I don't know. The best game I ever won was probably, like the most beautiful game I ever won was probably like a Benko I won with white against Grandmaster Sagalchik. But, you know, he played badly. It just was kind of aesthetically beautiful. Knight f6. I guess we maintain our pawn. Always my most recent. No, it's an old game from 1995 or 1994. That was my most aesthetically pleasing game. I don't really count like my best game being like, I don't know, like my win against the highest rated player, whoever I beat or something like that, you know. You ask me what my best game is, I'm thinking in terms of, you know, the most beautiful. Not being like results oriented, it's not so important to me, you know. How high rated was my opponent or something. I beat Sagalchik in like 19 moves or something. So it was a fast miniature and really sort of cute. Alright, this reminds me of something else I saw not that long ago. It doesn't seem like I really have a lot of choices here, but maybe Queen f4 rather than Queen g3 could be interesting. What's the difference, really? I don't know. The answer is I don't know, but maybe it doesn't matter so much. I'll probably have to lose the pawn back on d5. I don't think I ever beat anybody who was over 2600 when I beat them. You know, I've beaten people who were over 2600, but maybe not like at the time when I beat them. I have something like close to 50 wins against GMs in my career, but there's some doubles, and a lot of the GMs are like, you know, under 2500, most of them in the low 2500s, a few high 2500s, and you know, I've beaten some players that have been over 2600, but I've never actually beaten one when they were over 2600. Bishop f5, as far as I can recall, at least. Some of them were close. Bishop f5, this is what I expected. Now, I don't know where I should put my knight. One would assume I should put it on f3. There might be some advantages in e2, but now, I don't know. Difficult to call. Is there another move like bishop f4? That's materialistic. Hopefully I don't trap my own queen here. Like knight h5. Be careful. I don't think knight h5 is going to work out for black. Someone was mentioning my win against Rapport the other day. I beat him when he was like just getting his GM title. I mean, that's like one of the more famous people that I've beaten. But he wasn't famous when I beat him. I mean, he was famous here as a local prodigy, but... Alright. So the night before thing is... is my only concern here. I would never consider like trying to win the pawn on c7 or something like that. Castles knight b4. I might be able to play some sort of pawn sacrifice there myself. Like bishop f4. Knight takes b2. That's kind of interesting. I think that's kind of dangerous for black to go, you know, not developing the rest of his pieces here. He really needs to castle. So it looks like an Alekhine defense or Alyakin's defense. I think that white is slightly better. Structurally, this is a typical Alyakin where, like, you know, white has the better pawn structure, the strong pawn on d4. Knight f3 variations of the Alyakin, or as Westerners say, Alekhine's defense. Mainly, like, our advantage is consisting of this pressure on the e file. Some chances of maybe a kingside attack based on trading off his bishop. And here I'm starting to threaten to win a pawn in some lines against e7. Not immediately, but if I continue with something like bishop g5, queen h4, I like white here. But he has some counterplay. Hopefully not enough. Bishop g5 is interesting. Yeah, queen h4, I don't know. Queen h4, e6. Maybe I'm better off playing something like knight e5. I mean, it's nice to pressure f7, but I don't have any clear threats. All right, maybe this move is a little cagier. Because it seems like if I play queen h4, he's just doing e6, and then bishop g5, f6, and my queen is like getting trapped by g5 or something strange. Maybe not. Maybe I should have done that, induced him to like overextend his kingside. a5 is a really good move. Okay, this is a little awkward. But I have ideas. Oh. It's like a really, really sneaky trick. Laterally defending b3 and taking out f7. Winning at least an exchange. I was worried about that plan earlier, to be honest with you. a5 and queen b6 and loosening my bishop on b3. Santa, what's up? Wait, is Santa here? Yeah. So, Santa, so you're Saint Nicholas. I didn't really answer when you were explaining this. Nikki. Serbian Nikki. c5. Maybe we chase this queen away. Finesse. Finesse move. Back into the box. You could do b5. I don't know. Is that a good move or a bad move? I'm not even sure. I don't know if I should take. He's got all sorts of problems, obviously. There's the c2 square, though. He's got me in such time pressure. I have to be careful. Okay, I always have like f3 if he tries to move his bishop. Yeah, I guess we just have g4. G4 is really strong. G4, knight c2 takes, knight takes f6, and then bishop h6 check. This I didn't really think about. Oh, then he'll be on my rook. Alright, that sort of complicates drawing my queen away. Shouldn't dramatically change anything. Bishop c2. Well, how's my increment? That was messy. Too much time pressure for me. You might have had something there at the end. a little bit too weird. So he's actually mating me. Wow. So apparently here it was like a draw or something. After this I'm winning if I sack my queen, but I never would have found it in time pressure. It's not even that difficult. I mean, all right. A little too much time pressure to get myself into there. All right, good fighting game. Wow, Santa Claus close to 2,500 again. So Divakaran and Troll to Roll. All right. I'm actually supposed to play the subscribers first. Divakaran is not a subscriber. But whatever. All right. We'll make an exception this one time. Playing a non-subscriber first. I forgot you're not a subscriber. You're here every day. It seems like you should be. All right. So, Queen's Gambit decline. Wait, didn't you play the King's Indian before? Now you play other openings too? I thought you played the King's Indian, Divakaran. We had the King's Indian last time. Man of many openings. I missed queen takes b4, and it's funny because I saw that in one moment and then I forgot about it. I saw it before and after I had the move, but it was like consciously on my mind at one point before and after when I had queen takes b4. I got distracted, I guess, thinking about like my king or something, and so what happened to the queens, to the king's Indian? I was looking forward to another one of those. I was actually going to play a mainline king's Indian today. Now this is a sort of standard reti. Do I play d3 and then in c5, e3? I guess it's also possible to play e3 first. That should be okay. Maybe more accurate. But I don't know the theory well enough here. I never actually played these main lines of the reti, really, since I've been a master. To be perfectly honest, I started playing knight f3, d5, g3 like really recently. I mean, I had always played it on occasion, but my old repertoire was like knight f3, d5, c4 for a good chunk of time. But the problem with knight f3, d5, c4 is that black plays d4 and gets this reverse Benoni where I don't think that white legitimately has claim to an advantage. It seems like g3 is a little more playable for white and less committal than playing c4. But now I have to get used to playing all these kind of like Catalan reti type of setups that I haven't really played seriously in tournaments and stuff. I've seen a lot of players playing these kind of lines with white, but I'm not that knowledgeable about the actual theory. So now I guess we can try to put our knight on a good square on c3, but I have to be prepared for e5, d4. The normal plan is something like d3. I'm just not sure about the move order. If I play like knight to c3 first, that might be fine. I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, black can play e5, but probably like loses a pawn or something. A lot of times you see people take on c4. I guess that's playable, but it kind of gives up the center to white. You raise your bullet because of me. I'm always saying you have a low bullet rating. Did I say that? Yeah. But you do have a low bullet rating. I mean, you seem to be stronger in that bullet phase of the game, like where it's really low time. So I would think that you would excel in bullet chess, Serbian Santa Claus. That's why I say it, you know. It seems like you play really well in Zeitnot or whatever. That bullet would be natural for you, more natural for you than even blitz. But I mean, I'm not a promoter of bullet chess. What is going on? We're just hoping this is an oversight, because if it's not, I'm in a lot of trouble. What is going on? He just sacked a pawn. I think I'm like obliged to take it. But I could play knight b5. Maybe first we should look at knight takes d4. His bishop's hanging, so it doesn't leave him with a lot of choices. Take, take. He's just losing a pawn here. All right. It's early in the morning in wherever he is. Just kidding. It's early in the morning here. Maybe Divakaran just hallucinated. The problem is that I have knight c6 now. I guess that's the best move. I don't want him to wedge a piece on d3. Okay, his queen is strong on the long diagonal, but he's just down a pawn here, so I wouldn't really give black too much compensation. Unfortunately, fancy knight d5 tricks are just that. Fancy. If I play knight d5, he can just take with the knight and play like queen b7. Winning his geolog back. But the important thing is that I don't end up backward along the d file in this position. Okay, for a second I was considering queen f3, but what about take, knight d3? Then I have bishop a3, rook d8. Man, king e3 is really nasty. So this may in fact be better than the passive f3, something like that, forcing him to do basically a bad move. I have rook e1 and bishop a3, some such nonsense. Black playing a little too quickly. Welcome everybody. I've got Simul on Sunday. That'll be the next stream at 7 p.m. We're going to do a... This week isn't too bad. I don't have to go out of Budapest for the team championship. Bishop a3. It's not even necessary. I'm not sure it's a good move. I might as well just take on b7. I mean, his knight is on a really bad square. If bishop a3, he just simply plays like rook d8. I don't think that's necessarily good for me. Pawn upending. Clearly better for white. I think we can play rook d1 on general principles. I was looking for other stuff, but our d-pawn is going to come under some pressure, possibly. So I should consider like d5. We'll isolate my pawn, though. He's just so relentlessly fast. Never have time to think. It's really annoying when your opponent moves like instantly every single move and doesn't give you time to think. Alright. I'm going to take f5 away from him. Put my pawns on white squares, which complements my dark squared bishop. Am I quite familiar with Imzo-Indian lines? Well, you know, I'm not like the biggest expert because I didn't play it exclusively all my life, but I've been playing the Nimzo-Indian off and on for like the last, I don't know, maybe 15 years or so. I used to play the King's Indian almost exclusively. Bishop a3. What is my bishop doing there? 。 sure how much my bishop is actually worth in this position. It was just blocked by the pawn on b2. It's never actually doing anything. It'll be nice to have a nice relaxing game with Troll, Chess 960. I've got challenges with Troll. There are no other subscribers, it looks like. A lot of new people I've never heard of. Fat President. Why are you trying so hard? Jacob Surratt. Alright, just a pure rook ending. I mean, this is a really good ending for white. Technically, this should be winning. You know, I think the pass pawn is a very strong asset here. He's defending this pretty well. But he just seems way stronger than his actual rating. This is like best move. Instantly played. Really good technique for lichess 1900. I mean, not easy to beat this guy. Now we can pose some serious problems. But he's so fast, it's like brutal. I never have time to think about a single move because he never thinks about his moves, he just plays instantly. So I'm never ever given a chance since the beginning of the game to think on my moves. It's really amazingly difficult. Even King G8 is like a brilliancy, you know. So he won't be a checked on F7 if I go to the 7th. He set up some weird perpetuals. Now I can go rook A7. I guess he just goes A5. Then I go to the 7th. Maybe now finally threatening rook C7. Rook D6. Okay. Now we got him, finally. Whew. Man, that was tenacious defense by Black. He seemed to have a lot of threats. Constantly finding some kind of resources. Not easy. I mean, I make it look easy, you know, but fortunately he doesn't have king f8 here. That would save him. Amazingly fighting player, this guy. He won 2 arenas that I've held, despite being like outrated by the average players by over 100 points. I mean, by the highest rated players by over 100 points. Rook a8. Looks completely mad. Karpov actually lost a match there in 23 moves in 2016. I wouldn't take anything that Karpov's done, you know, since his relative inactivity seriously. He came here and he played some exhibition games in Budapest against like Gladora a couple years ago, or someone. It was awful. Like, Karpov didn't seem to even like be there, you know. Troll and a roll. I'm surprised he won the match with Hu Yifan. I didn't look at the games. It's not really interesting to me, but I'm surprised he won, honestly. Troll and maybe it's a good stylistic matchup for Karpov. Troll and a roll up next. Any other subscribers? I've got a lot of. I got Nefyudov down there. The chat is so much better without Arsenal fan. Uh-oh. I'm gonna tell on you. Alright. Just kidding, man. Poor Arsenal fan. He must have chess club last night. Why do we always have a bishop fianchetto on a1, Troll? It seems like I'm playing b3 against you in chess 960 every game that we ever have. Yeah. Thursday night is Fight Club, I guess, in the UK. It's just an excuse to go out drinking. Chess club. I love Karpov, you know, not in that way, but you know what I mean. I won't tell any stories. Only G-rated stories on the stream here. But over a beer in the pub, you might hear different stories. But anyway, we're not talking about drinking club and Karpov stories. We're talking about, what were we talking about? I don't remember. Alright, so guys, thanks for watching and subscribing. It's another Queen's Indian attack. It seems like this is the same thing as last game. I had yesterday in my subscriber stream, Thursday night, Troll and a roll, and I played chess 960. Also, it was a Queen's Indian attack. Also, I had bishop on a1 and b3, trying to get the bishop out. It's actually pretty... Dude, the queen was on h1 too, because I played h4 and queen h3. What do we have, like the same position or something? Is this the same position? How is the queen on h1 and the bishop on a1 in the same way? No, but the knight was on b1 though. It was, there was a difference here, because I couldn't get my knight out because he played like b5, b4. Funny how similar it is. The bishop was on d1, so this knight was on, so the knight was on b1, the bishop was on d1, and the rook was on like c1. And everything else was the same. So very, very similar position. I don't know. He's got the center again. I'm trying to play too hyper modern in chess 960, I think. Richard Rahl. I think you're spot on regarding his inactivity. Yeah, Karpov. Well, keep in mind, you know, there's a different mentality when you're playing like promotional matches and stuff. Karpov retired a long time ago from active play. A long time ago. I mean, what are we talking about? Like, He basically retired from active play in like the mid 90s. That's like 20 years of basic inactivity. What am I going to do here? Alright, this is similar to yesterday. I'm trying to get my queen into the game. Black center looks imposing. Every time I play troll, I say that I'm worse out of the opening. Maybe it's just chess 960 in general. I feel very uncomfortable in the opening stage. It always feels like I'm worse. I'm fearing that I have misplayed the position. No, but this is a game I played yesterday. It's not like a big achievement to remember. I can remember what happened yesterday, Soltigo. I'm not that dementia yet. Troll also copied me with h5 yesterday. He remembers too. Guys, I'm willing to play like 2 chess 960 games. If somebody else wants to play a chess 960, I can do that. I am taking the subscribers first for the most part. Diva Karan got lucky there. I will play Nefedov next. We missed you, Nefedov. Yesterday I didn't get to play you. E3 followed by C4. I'll tell you what about E3. What I wanted to play E3. What I didn't like about E3 was that it like softens up the diagonal for that bishop on B7. But still, it might have been better to go ahead and do it. Yesterday I sacked a knight on F7 against Troll. Thing is, if I stick my knight on G5, what's he going to do about it? What are you going to do about it, man? He's got no H6 anymore, and he can never play F6 without the disaster happening on E6. He can stick his knight on C7 and deal with it that way, but that's awkward, blocking his own bishop on B8. It's a little like, it's reminding me of like Bughouse. I'm just sticking a knight on G5. You won't often hear me talk about Bughouse strategy, but I was the coach of a high school chess team at one point, and the kids often forced me to play Bughouse with them, so I have limited Bughouse experience. I wouldn't consider myself a strong player. Knight E4. If I let him take on G5, I mean, maybe that's better for me. Or if I take on E4 and isolate his pawn. It feels like he can maintain the pawn on E4 with the bishop. Oh man, come on. What am I supposed to do here? Castle? No. I have other plans for you. What about my other knight? Knight D3. That's just weird. This is just weird. I mean, my bishop is buried on B1. It's like I'm playing the vulture. Do you guys know what the vulture is? The vulture I want to play on Weird Wednesday. I forgot about it for a long time, and I never remembered to play it on Weird Wednesday, unusual opening stream day. But the vulture is like, you play like you're going to play the Benoni. D4, knight F6, C4, C5. And then when they push D5, you play knight to E4. Very, very bad opening for black. Absolutely stupid. There was this German master, Stefan Bucher, who actually wrote a book about it. I think that it's just concretely bad for black. But it's kind of funny. It has a cute name, you know. Oh man, what am I going to do? Now I've got myself in trouble. I want to play C4, but I just don't see it working. I guess I can play E3. I could even castle. But I have a reason for not castling. I can castle queenside. Castles queenside leaves my F2 pawn Alright, let's have some fun. Do your worst. What is my idea here? I have a funny idea. You gotta feel like smothered mates are coming on for troll here. This would be an awesome bughouse position. Yeah, I feel like every time I'm playing the opening JCS, every time I play an opening, I feel like I'm totally worse. It doesn't matter. Yesterday I looked at the game where I thought I was worse the whole opening, and Stockfish said I was better. So I really just feel very alien and have difficulty evaluating what's going on. I bet he didn't expect me to castle queenside. It looks a little dangerous because Black's play is sort of, in a way, like more advanced on the queen side, but his bishops are actually pointing at the other direction. I didn't expect knight there. I was hoping for something like, whoa, I was hoping for this, you know, something involving c4, and I was thinking of ways that I could like let him take on f2 by moving my knight, letting him take on f2, then doing like knight e6 check, forcing him to take, and then pinning the knight on f2 to his king along the f file with advantage to white. But now I think that I might be better here. I mean, I'm threatening rook h1, and this is why I didn't want to castle kingside, because of rook h1 ideas. Okay, he can still try. I also have g6, which could be very disruptive in some moment. There's also g4. This d4 looks practically obligatory. I mean, this move, if he doesn't do that, he's just dead. The problem is that it might be good. It just might be good because I don't have knight f4. Rook h1 is no longer very effective. I have to start chipping away at his center. If I play e3, he has e5. But that gets kind of weird. c3, e3, but it all might be too slow. Maybe even f4 circumventing e5. It's weird, but weird is normal here. Troll's biggest enemy is himself and his time problems. He's actually quite a decent player, but every single game he loses on time almost. Worse than me. The difference between him and me, or he and I, is that when I get down to like 3 seconds, I can make, you know, moves. He just loses on time when he gets down to his increment, typically. g6. I even toyed with the idea of playing rook h1 and sacrificing in exchange, but I think it's essential for me to attack his center. But I keep seeing counterplay for Black here. g4, not that big a deal because of his bishop. This is a strong move, of course. But I have to do something. trying to chip away on the long diagonal against his queen on h8. Now this way, everybody's happy. I can play c4. I'm actually debating if I want to do it or not, though. Maybe I don't want to do that, you know? Maybe I want to play like rook e1. But it looks a little slow. Okay, my king is, I can go here and king b1. My king isn't in any immediate danger. Thought we'll go for blockade here. He might have bishop e4 trying to win the pawn on f4. He looks like he's consolidated this really well. My queen is kind of paralyzed. Bishop e4, maybe I could sack a pawn there. Yeah, that's actually a piece he probably can't afford to give up so quickly. Although he can trade the bishop in and play like e6. Bishop e4, I don't know. What do I do? Maybe just knight e5, I drop a pawn. Is that a good idea? f6 is like mental. f6 looks totally mental. Maybe I'm wrong though. Looks like he's like wildly weakening himself with f6 around his king. But maybe it's not so easy to take advantage of. He does have weird knight moves, bishop g3. My queen is strangely paralyzed. But I have threats of knight e5, I think. Knight e5 would just turn him out right now. Like, if it was my move, it's probably knight e5 resigns. Even without my bishop on a1, playing effectively. The threat is very hard to meet. So I think that just do it anyway. Maybe I overvalued my position. Rook takes e7. Huh. Rook takes e7, anyone? Well, the question was bishop f6 there, really. I guess. Well, it's still not winning for me necessarily. No mates. It's damn close though. Okay, we're just flushing him out. I think I'm just winning here directly. We might have a defense. Damn it. So rook f1, queen h7 kept him alive there. He resigned. Yeah, I guess I'm winning. This is important because if I go here, queen h7 move, he stays in the game. But rook e1 is fatal. So not a bad game for Chess 960, I guess. It was interesting. Got so many challenges, I'm never going to play all you guys. So I'm just warning you now. There's a good chance your challenges will go on deaf ears. Try to make the challenges faster. If you guys would challenge me to 7+3, we'll try to like try to do the 5+3. I mean, that's a little bit better. Maybe I'm going to make Friday Fast Friday from now on and just do 5+3. So, who is a subscriber? Nefidov 7+2. Before he gets in rook f7. That was an interesting game, but I didn't like f6. F6 seemed like suicidal. Nefidov, all right. Nefidov, what do you play here in the Caro-Kann again? I forgot. The old variation, Shamkovich style. Karpov. Once I made the mistake of playing this against like this guy Ziatinov, who was like, it was like the worst opening I could have played against him. I lost really badly. I have a kind of bad score with this system. Knight d7. I don't think I ever beat a good player. Just some random 2200s. But anyway, it's nice to play something different now and then. I've been playing bishop f5, like most people. And occasionally, I like to play knight f6 and take with the g-pawn. I mean, the real truth is that maybe this is the best line. You know, knight f6, knight takes f6, e takes f6. There was a game in Aeroflat in the first round where somebody, I think, played that. Knight d7. I mean, you see the e takes f Caro-Kann, but it's kind of like, okay, it seems like the e takes f Caro-Kann, its only idea is to like draw. Arsenal fan, how was drinking club? You got burned on a pawn, bummed in a pawn sack on the black side of the French Tarash. Okay. Playing for the mate in 1. That's a deep variation, man. I'll have to dig into my bag of tricks for the answer to that. What is the answer to that? Knight f6 or something? If I go knight on d to f6, do you play like knight g5? But you have no bishop c4. What would Laszlo Eperjesy do? All right. Show me what you got. I'll take that pawn on d4 so fast. You wouldn't even know it hit you. Do you want to change 7+3 to 5+3? I mean, if you guys want to, it's not obligatory, but it might make it faster for everybody. But let me know like your name in the challenge lists, because I'll have to make note of that. If you guys change your challenge, let me know, okay? Because you'll lose your place in the line, and I'll have to put you back. Is that you, Jacob? Because you were toward the top. Okay, guys, we're streaming till just before 12:30. We got like almost an hour and a half left. Yeah, Jacob just rechanged his challenge. Changed his challenge to 5+3. He's like up there under Santa Claus. But I still I have to take the challengers first. I mean the subscribers. Okay, one of them slipped through the cracks, the non-subscribers. We should do that from time to time. What makes you say knight f6 instead of bishop f5? Because every 3-year-old child knows the theory of bishop f5, like 20 moves deep. I mean, bishop f5, it's like just so well known, and it probably is the best move. But maybe not, you know. Maybe, in truth, like knight f6, knights before bishops, we develop and we trade off the knight. The cost to our pawn structure is minimal after e takes f6. So I think that black is close to equalizing here. The white queen is a bit strange. I guess after queen h4, bishop f5, Wei would have some questions to answer about his c2 pawn. I mean, Nefedov is not really into speculative pawn sacrifices. He likes to play solidly, like me. I'll try to put on some weight. Big booty lover. JCS. I can wait. I'd like to play, yeah. No, I mean, you would be second after Santa Claus and the other subscribers. The other guys, though, you know, I don't know how many of the non-subscribers will get to play. We'll do our best. Usually there's a lot of challengers on Friday, so I'm gonna change it so that we only play 5+3 in the forthcoming Fridays. Obviously I can play G6 here. We need to get our bishop outside the pawn chain, or some way make sure that it's a relevant force. But I don't want to force things too much. I mean, G6 does look like a reasonable plan. The problem with bishop G4 is knight E5, obviously. That doesn't seem like it benefits me in any way. You know, if anything, it kind of hurts. So I can play G6 and then bishop G7 and just castle. That would be my default plan here. You know, we could also try to attack his center with like C5, but it looks a little premature. And otherwise, I don't really know if I like my options too much. C4 played instantly. This gives it the flavor of like a Slav defense or something. I can always put my bishop on F5, but the queen is coming over here to B3, where it will harass my pawn on B7. I don't like to attack things for the sake of attacking them. Oftentimes that's a serious mistake. Now I can play bishop G4, but with the fianchetto I'm basically ensuring myself just trading my bishop for knight. I don't know if I really want to do that in a vacuum. Otherwise, what is my plan here? In general, trading pieces is a good idea, but I need some counterplay. Nefedov's setup seems strong. Just in the sense that he's got everything in order. No real issues. No advantage per se, but he does have the strong pawn on D4. Where is my counterplay? What is my plan here? Not easy to say. Alternatively, I mean, B6, it's just B6, bishop B7, B6, knight E5, bishop B7, bishop F3. This bishop is poised to transfer diagonals to here. That's a common theme in queen pawn games, especially. So it's difficult to find counterplay here for black. Bishop G4 seems too compromising. Bishop F5 maybe, just to disrupt him a little bit. He can go to E3. Actually, he has B3, E3, two good squares. Even A3. I don't have very good control of E5, so that's hard to achieve. If I can knock out his pawn on D4, I equalize the game. I also have the bishop on G7, which that would be good to free that piece for active play. Nefedov like tanking on the clock here. I'm not really down with artificial development. So the thing is, like, bishop F5, queen E3, with the plan of maybe B3. That's not that easy for him to achieve. Queen e3 or queen b3. All right, let's just do something weird. This is probably not a great move. I think I know what I would do if I were white. I'm developing my rook from its original square. This is developed. This is developed, and this is developed. They didn't move, but they're developed. This is something that you have to think about, you know, especially with the queen's bishop. Very typically, if it doesn't have a particularly great square, I consider this piece to be developed. It has a lot of potential from its original square. The rook, if I could play like a4, the rook has a lot of potential from its original square. Yeah, bishop f4 is a good move, I think. I think it's appropriate. Now bishop f5. With the idea of, well, I had the idea of c5, but now after a5 that seems silly, actually. Alright. There, it's developed from its unoriginal square on f5. And then some combination of a4 and a3 maybe. We'll try to use our bishop on g7 on the long diagonal. Yeah, this is awkward. Awkward moment for queen. What's up with that? Nefedov is in trouble. Now he has to play queen e3. And he's momentarily threatening me. Maybe it was all a trap, a sophisticated trap. He like induced me to do this, and now he's threatening g4. Man, that sucks. I feel like I just fell for a trap. g4. I get 2 pawns for a piece there. If g4. Man, that's really... That really sucks. It almost seems like Nefedov did it on purpose. I mean, that would be pretty deep with no time. Just my paranoid. I played the wrong move. Queen c3. I could have played like c5 probably. I don't know though. Maybe it's not bad for white. Putting his queen here on the diagonal with a rook on a1. I mean, that is very strange. So g4. c5, bishop b2. a4, g4. Bishop takes g4, queen takes. I just have to like move back. It's ridiculous. There's nothing wrong with my position, but I lost my whole advantage. Now white is fine here. It looks like equal. But it seems silly to take a draw in a complicated position. Yeah, actually when he offers the draw, he's better now. I mean, queen c3 was a very strange move. He should go to e3. I don't know what possessed him to put his queen on c3. But here it's like, even so, I don't really have an advantage. It seems crazy with his queen and rook on this diagonal that black can't do anything. That's why I spent all my time. It's just weird. There's no way to exploit that queen and rook on the long diagonal. H5 was bad. I wanted to play H5. I almost played it, but it's bad. He has knight H4 ideas. He's threatening this. I think it's kind of awkward. Maybe. Yeah, maybe it's worth trying though. Alright guys, tons of challenges. We'll play subscriber guys, and then Dear Santa Claus, and actually Enchanteur was challenging us probably a long time ago. They keep coming back. So let's play this WFM first. Title player. We'll give the title player a chance to play. Someone asked. No, they were asking it would be nice to play an IM like to play me. But anyway, we rarely get to play other title players here, so let's try it. Yeah, this is a weird line. Where did I see this recently? I think one of my opponents from Mongolia, Gambo Shurin, played this, and I had prepared something, but now I forgot. It was so long ago. I can't remember. Well, I guess we play like it's a Grunfeld-Makaganov variation with colors reversed, which it is. Tushar says, well, I get a game here. Well, you're pretty late, man, but there's a good chance since you are a subscriber. You know, because you are a subscriber, we'll play I Take Back, Arsenal Fan, you, Santa Claus, and like, I think, who was it, Jacob? Because he changed his challenge. Okay, I gotta play faster because this is 5 plus 3. I'm used to playing like 7 plus 3, and sometimes I start just going off, you know, talking about the stream and stuff. Bishop e7. So we want to play for c4. That's the normal idea in Makaganov. I've played, actually her bishop e7 is a little weird, but not a bad move. Normally black would further the plan there, you know, with that type of thing. It reminds me of like a6 Slav somehow, even though black hasn't played a6 in spirit. It's like a Slav. You jump to the front of the line, Aniket. Not quite the front. I've got to play Arsenal Fan. We've got a couple of subscribers waiting to play. So she took here, opening up the bishop on b7. I mean, black has like a very minor structural inferiority here. If I can play knight c3, I'm going to play that move. Maybe a bad move, though. I'm not sure. It could be kind of weird. I'm just gonna go with it. I don't know. Maybe knight c3 is a bad move. This is definitely not the line that I prepared for Gambo Shuren Munkgal, the Mongolian IM who I played in April, who played this variation from time to time. Something else, there was nothing like this in my analysis. It was something completely different. Black is trying to play c5 here. But I kind of think that black is okay. I'm not sure that this knight a4 is great for me. It's hard to decide what to do. She's trying to play c5, but if I play c5, I weaken myself a lot. Still, it might be a good idea. It could get really strange after that. I don't know. I don't know this player. Is she new? From Philippines. Okay. 2001. Looks like it's a relatively new account here on lichess. She played c5. It's like a note boom variation. Take on c5, take on c5. I don't know what to do. Take on b4. I guess theoretically it's going to be crazy with mutual pawn majorities and stuff like that. It's just like the note boom structurally, but with the fianchetto setup for white. Fianchetto and note boom. If you guys know what the note boom variation, it's a kind of Slav where this pawn structure arises on the queen side. It leads to really, I think, extremely irrational type of games. I feel like I'm gonna have to play a white square bishop exchange at some point here. She's trading pieces. That's my blockader. Black seems pretty strong. I think I have to take. And my center is strong, but her queen side is dangerous. So it's totally irrational. She's pretty fast bullet. 2,000 limited blitz games. But if that's her bullet rating, her blitz should be over 2,200. I mean, bullet is generally oftentimes lower than blitz. Ow, my knee hurts. Such an irrational position. I don't know. I really need to like blockade somehow. I can play e5 for what it's worth. Pushing black back, I guess. You know, an ending is okay. My king approaches the center. We have a very strong center. Black has a dangerous pawn duo, but my king is a factor that she doesn't have, you know. With the strong king, white might just be better here. Rook a5. Not that easy to handle this position, I don't know. It seems like white is just better. She's threatening a5. Knight b3, knight b6, rook c1. It's a really irrational position. I can play knight a5, blockading. F6. That's an interesting move. I have to take. Black is really resourceful. I mean, f6 was, I thought, a really deep move. Like, against the grain. But probably necessary to get counterplay. More like infinitesimally better. But like most of my opponents, she's extremely fast. We're playing with the king. Black doesn't have a king really active here, so it seems like we're better. Slightly better pawn structure. 2 islands against 3. But with the time situation, WFM. She's strong for WFM. This would be 2125 in bullet is 2200 in blitz, I would say. King f7 is a good move. I'm going into Portish Lajos mode. Maybe I need to transfer my bishop to like e3 so I can double my rooks on the a file. I don't know why this endgame reminds me of this. It reminds me of this game Portish won against Spassky. It's completely different, but it has some similar characteristics. You know, she's sort of walking into this bishop e3 thing. What's up? Knight d5, knight c6. Nice try with that move, though. Just amazingly resourceful. Look at this. It looks like I lost in time pressure. That's an interesting WFM. Very strong. Like a bullet expert. WFM. Alright, good game. It was totally winning for me, but too fast. Look at the trick she found with like no time left here. G4. This position is like winning for black. Better for black. With the passed pawn. Still a draw. But I'm too short of time. Knight d1. Bishop d4. Take. This is a draw somehow, but I don't know. I'd have to play like God with 14 seconds left. Quite an interesting WFM. Very strong. Very strong. Bullet chess expert. But I think that it was a good game until I lost the end. I was winning. But what a resource to find here. Knight a4. I have to play like perfectly. Knight c6. Knight b2 check. Another perfect move. King e4. Bishop c7. And then here I didn't know what to play. I just didn't see I have knight takes b4. But still this is probably a draw. Objectively. I don't think I'm winning this position if I play knight takes b4. It looks like bishop c1 anyway. Everything is a draw. I don't think I can win this. Knight takes c4, knight takes b4. 4 against 3 on the same side. There are some chances for white, but objectively this is probably just a draw. Nice game. She had, wow, really strong play. All right, guys, we don't have much time left. Dear Santa Claus, where did Arsenal fan go? Okay, Arsenal fan, too sharp. Quite a strong, fast player there. Slightly underrated, I would say. The blitz rating of 2000 is interesting. All right, knight f3. Played like a men's FM at least. C4. Okay, Arsenal fan, I don't really play this too often. I'll have to transpose back to a normal BOGO. I'm not accepting challenges. Who said that? Master Kevin, he is not accepting challenges. Well, we're out of time. I have a massive amount of challenges here. I have like the last 10 minutes didn't go by. I have an hour left. Almost an hour left. How is that possible? I thought I had an hour left like half an hour ago. We have an hour left, so I'll be able to play Tushar, Camday, our subscribers, Take Back, Tushar, probably Santa Claus. I accepted this challenge because it was a titled player, and I don't get that many challenges from titled players. Didn't expect to get beat down. Actually, it was a good game. I never should have lost, but she should have drawn probably. Objectively, the proper result was a draw. I just panicked and time pressure there. 95 was a blunder. I wasn't sure about the ending though. I should be able to draw down a piece because there's not enough pawns on the board. I'm always late and therefore never get to play. Well, there's your answer. Alright, bishop b7. A very solid variation for Arsenal fan. It's not very exciting for black, but if you want to play like for a draw against a solid player, I think this line is probably pretty good. I wouldn't want to play this variation for a win with black. Maybe I should consider taking with the pawn on d5, because if he takes back with the pawn, he has a relatively bad bishop. This is a very bad move, I think, by Arsenal fan. c5. He's just wrecking his pawn structure for no apparent reason. Five plus 3, I've got to get a little faster. Last game was a good game, though. A good fight. I gotta stop panicking when I have not that much time left. But this pawn is just hanging. So, I mean, I guess it's playable for black, but I wouldn't recommend it. Knight h4. Ooh, that looks strong. That looks strong. And then this pawn is just a weakness. I guess I can try to just take it. Then he has bishop takes, and then I take back with a knight on g2 and up pawn. Up pawn. Spoken like a true materialist. But it's possible we can win the pawn on better terms. But even if you did see knight h4, this pawn is kind of doomed. The pawn on c5, like black shouldn't allow that. Even if I couldn't win it right away, you're just sort of suffering with that structure. Actually, I'm not sure if I should even take this pawn. I guess I have back rank mate tactics. The back rank mate tactics, in other words, like bishop takes g2, knight takes g2, rook d8, and then I move the knight. You know, just simply move the knight to my favorite square. Oh no. I'm having a bad day today. Alright, let's just pretend this never happened. Okay? I lost the last game, I guess I'm a little flustered or something. But, I don't like losing, you know? But it seemed to affect me or something because I just blundered a rook with check, and I wouldn't normally do that. And Arsenal fan just believed me. Alright, let's take a minute to just pause and a moment of silence for my lost game and this blunder. Alright. See, this is the problem when you just start playing this super fast stuff. You start thinking and playing without thinking. And last game turned into a bullet fest when I got nervous and blundered. Here I go again, like dropping a rook on d1 with check without any reason whatsoever. But actually, I have to be very precise there. So the plan is something like queen c2 on pinning myself. And then queen takes d2, queen takes d2, rook takes d2, rook c8 mate. But for some reason, I forgot that it was my knight on g2. If anybody's wondering why I hallucinated this, basically, somehow in my mind, it's like my king capturing on g2. You know, so when he takes here, and I take back, and he takes back, I wanted to recapture with my king on g2, rather than putting my knight on g2. And that's why I thought that it's not check on d1. But that's really, really bad. Alright. It's embarrassing to make a blunder like that, though. Knight d5, just counter blunder. Blunder and counter blunder. I'm not sure that e4 is the best move either. But Arsenal fan, he moves too fast. Dude, you have 3 minutes left and you're just making instant moves. You have a 2-minute time advantage. You're instantaneously moving. I mean, this move might be stronger, attacking a2, coming into d3. But knight f6, I don't know. Still black has a little bit of counterplay. Because I have weakened my structure more than black. My e4 pawn is sort of artificially protected. He has queen b7. Maybe knight f6 isn't so bad, but I still think that this... I'm just flustered. The previous FM played really well. White has a tremendous advantage. Just unmute the stream and hear talking about time. I wanted to get a coffee but didn't have time. What happened? Oh, Rook c4. The reason why I don't like playing the 5-3 is because it's almost like a 5-0. I don't have that much time to commentate the games, and so we're stuck between this compromise of not being able to talk about the games but playing more people. And I'm more accustomed to spending a lot of time talking about the games. So we're kind of stuck, you know, trying to compromise between the two. Last game I felt kind of degenerated into a bullet game. This has the same potential. But then more people want to play, so we gravitate toward the 5+3. But there's very little time to commentate the games if I play the 5+3. So I just have to adapt and treat it differently and not talk as much about the games. Unfortunately, you know, that's the problem. I try to talk about the games, try to describe a lot of ideas, but then I have no time left for my actual play. The 7+3 is very different. I was never really happy about putting my knight on g2 to begin with, to be perfectly honest. From the moment I made that capture, I was kind of regretting it. Like, I'm just winning the stupid pawn on c5 but losing my coordination. It even led to the hallucination with king g2. I should have just not even played knight takes g2, you know? Maybe even not even played knight h4 and just focused on him having a bad structure. That would probably be what I would do in a normal situation. I just blundered again. Arsenal fan is tricky. Now that move I didn't expect. Wow. He's tricky and he's fast, and he'll be insulted because I said that, but it's not an insult. He's much stronger than 1700. His blitz rating, you know, you see his rapid rating is 2000. I think that's more indicative of your legitimate strength, the slower time controls. The funny part is he plays fast. I think he plays fast pretty well. But I'm just tactically a little bit off today. I need to play more fast chess. I don't know what I'm doing here. Getting confused. Wasting time. He's much stronger than 1700. Okay, this is unclear. What is he doing with that? E5. Now I blundered again. Oh man, now I'm going to be lucky to draw. It's like the last game. Oh, my rook's hanging. Thanks for letting me know. Oh, man. The pawns are too strong now. That was another terrible hallucination. I forgot his queen was protecting f7. But this c5 is a catastrophe for black, I think. Knight on bd7 was played like universally. This is just a really bad move. But here I think I made a mistake. You know, I think knight h4 is stupid. Probably this is actually absolutely the wrong idea. You know, putting my knight on a stupid square and ending up with my bishop, like my coordination gone. Bishop takes g2, knight takes g2. This is strange. I have this pin on the d file. Look, he has like only minus 0.4 after that, whereas before I was up like nearly a pawn, minus 0.2. It was, you had a clear win somewhere? Oh yeah. It was awful because I dropped a rook on d1. He didn't see it. Nobody's expecting me to drop a rook though, you know. Alright, I take back. We're going to play as many games as I can in the next 45 minutes. That was mutual hallucination. But I've done that many times against masters in blitz games. You know, one guy hangs his queen, the other guy doesn't take it. It happens because you just trust the other player wouldn't do something like that, you know. Arsenal fan assumes I'm not going to blunder a rook with check on move 15. So it must not be there. Yeah, my rook was hanging on d1. You said it was an awful game and you didn't know about that. That's hilarious, man. Now you really are sure it was an awful game. When I played knight takes g2, I thought I played king g2 or something subconsciously. And so I didn't realize that double capturing on d1 was check in my mind. It's just ridiculous. Alright. This 5-3. 5-3 chess 960. Okay, I can't talk too much about the game. I mean, we just gotta play chess. So, play faster. More action, less talk. I'm used to more talk, less action. But anyway. Alright. Yeah, it wasn't bad until you see that, Arsenal fan. But my whole plan with knight h4 was the wrong idea. It goes against my philosophy of not being materialistic. I should have just left him with a strategic, like, static weakness on c5 and not tried to take the pawn right away, losing my coordination, ending up with a knight on g2, giving him that pin on the d file. It was funny because my instincts were sort of telling me, like, don't be materialistic, but I was like, no, it's just a clear pawn. I mean, I have to try to take the pawn. Okay, I'm giving him the center here, but I am opening up my bishop on b2. So I guess there's a trade-off. It's like a semi-Slav on the other side of the board. It's kind of cool. Guys, I'll be back on Sunday with a simul. One of my guys in my team last year, dude's queen was just hanging, like, on prise, while I watched there in horror. You know, and these guys were like 1800, 1900, like high 1900 FIDE. Okay, so around like Arsenal fans rating or something. And I mean, I'm just standing there watching horrified, trying not to make a face as I see like my teammate's queen just hanging on prise. His opponent fought for over a minute and didn't take it, you know, and the other guy was like 1800 FIDE. It's like a kind of psychological phenomena. You just believe whatever the other guy does, you know. But I lost the previous game, and I think it destabilized me psychologically. I don't like losing, and when I lose it, I mean, everybody gets upset when they lose, you know, so. It's very important to use those kind of factors when you play in a tournament. I mean, if you play someone who just lost a number of games in a row or something, I mean, you've got to take that into consideration. People are upset when they lose games. They're more likely to be less balanced and make mistakes. Where are your star? We just got a normal chess position and chess 960. Well, you can't get the normal position, right? Or can you? Can you get the normal position here on lichess? Because I think in like the Nakamura, you know, I thought like in the Nakamura match, the Carlsen match, like it wasn't allowed to like get the chess 960. Isn't that like a rule? Like officially, the chess 960 isn't allowed, or am I crazy? TPAC is using a lot of time. That's good. Are you allowed to play the original position or not in real chess 960? Real. Like it's a tournament. Chess. Okay, anytime he plays e4, we're coming with the counterplay. He could have castled queenside already himself. But maybe now he'll try some caveman style stuff with like a5, a4. No, he's just waiting for me. After you, sir. Okay, the problem is if I play bishop e2, you know, then e4 actually like wins material, so, or does it? Well, it doesn't. I have knight d4 even there. But bishop e2 is inherently passive. Okay, so I guess we're just pretending it's like the Roy Lopez on the other side of the board or something. This is a very professional looking move, bishop d7. Not putting his bishop where it's exposed to attack. I like that. That looks absolutely right. It's a little tricky getting my queen in the game here. I can also never play c4 because of my king position. Well, I mean, you can play it, but it's like taking your life in your hands. So, how about bishop b5? Pawn hunting. Might actually be a good move. Here we go again. The problem last game was being too materialistic, and now I'm being materialistic again. But he has a concrete problem protecting e5. I'm trying to get him to make some kind of concession. But is it worth it? Queen e6, yeah. I underestimated this. I likely underestimated this simple move, casting doubt on my entire plan. Darn. He's casting doubt on my entire plan with that move. Man, that sucks. Once again, every time if I play chess 960, I just feel like I don't know what I'm doing. And I feel like my position is always bad, even when it may not be. I need to play like knight g5 and f4 somehow. I need to attack his center. G4 is so weakening. This looks bad for white. No clue what I'm doing here. Black's just better. Well played opening by black. Takeback doesn't even have any chess 960 games. That's weird. How many do you have? 2 games? Pretty good for a player with 2 games. His other account, he's like a chess 960 specialist. Did you ever play chess 960 with me before Takeback? I'm really sorry, guys. I don't have time to play everybody. We have so many challenges, like 9 games, but I can't play that many players in 2.5 hours. Unless I was playing like, 2-0 Bullet or something. I promised Jacob I would play him. I guess Jacob Santa Claus would be the first non-subscribers. These games, let's see. He's 5-3. Santa Claus is 5-3. Unfortunately, Tushar and Haberbomber challenged me to 7+3. That's the maximum games I'll be able to play. At least we're like somewhat coordinated now. But Black's play is so strong and solid. Really principled. No, I like the way he's playing. I mean, it seems like Takeback is learning from the stream. He's playing very principled chess. I'm gonna have to give up my bishop for nothing. My chicks for free. Lucky I'm not losing material here. Maybe I am. Man. He takes, bishop takes. This is a kind of disaster. I have to play this awful passive move. There's no time for bishop takes c6. Perfect position for black. Clear advantage. I'm not sure I like this. I mean, it's not bad. Black is better. But, he could have played a6 and forced me to give up my bishop. c4. He doesn't have any tactics here. The knight is a monster coming into d3. That's going to have to go. I'm just getting annihilated again. Got no counterplay, no threats. It's like pre-moving. Damn, dude. That's a nice game by black. Mate with a queen sacrifice on c2. Wow. Nice mate. Let's see, I have 2 inaccuracies, 2 mistakes, 1 blunder. Black played perfectly. I really hope you play chess 960 on a regular basis, man, because if not, that's impossible to play a game like that. That is unbelievable. Queen c2 mate. He has 1 inaccuracy in the whole game. All right, interesting game. I've got to play Tushar, and I'm not going to be able to play all the games. You know, I'm supposed to. Hope to play you all, guys. This wait, did I already play Tushar? No. Alright. I have time for like 3 more games. This is the last subscriber. That's the worst I've been beaten I can remember on my stream, probably. That game against I Take Back there. 1 inaccuracy in a chess 960 I've never seen before. Literally. I Take Back. I've never seen anybody play a 1 inaccuracy game in chess 960. Seriously. That is the best chess 960 game I've ever seen anybody play. Have you guys ever seen that? Someone have only 1 inaccuracy in chess 960? It's normally like a lot. Way more than normal chess. This is kind of like Nefedov's game from yesterday. Except, you know, he's not playing f3. d5 is possible. Yeah, I guess d5 is the best move theoretically. Serbian Santa Claus. No, I mean, you're definitely not the bubble. I mean, it looks like you're close, but I've never seen a 1 inaccuracy game in chess 960. I can't recall. I mean, unless it's like me playing against Troll and like, you know, he lost on time in 15 moves. Okay, I mean, that's possible, yes, but this is like one of Nefedov's games, except he didn't play f3. But I'm not sure that Tushar played the best move there. There's this in-between move, bishop f3, that might be better. Does that... Well, I have queen a5 check, actually. So maybe I have to take that back. I'm not sure. Queen a5 check. c3, dropping the g2 pawn. But there's bishop e5 check and mate. Good to see that. Did you guys see he played a GM level chess 960 game? You had a 100 and got beaten in 20 moves. The game was simple. Well, queen c2 wasn't simple. I didn't see it at all. It's a very unusual sort of position where he can mate me like that. I mean, I know that my position is strategically lost, but I didn't expect to get mated. Okay, so this is just like Nefedov's. It's just like Nefedov's game from the other day, except he played f3. It's just a draw variation. There's nothing I can do. But this guy's a very strong player. He's underrated. Quite a decent score against me, 11-4 out of 15 games. Yeah, and he played it very quickly too. Bishop e5. Clearly it's an obvious move, but still not that easy. My only chess 960 games where I played that perfectly were against Troll when he lost on time. Honestly, it was a bad position for me though. But I said earlier that I liked the way he played it. Paralyzed to my a pawn here. I may have to play b6 actually. Which I don't really want to do. We have an alternate plan. Alright guys, we'll play as many challenges as we can get to, but I don't think we're going to be able to play 7 more. Haberbomb, Santa Claus, and maybe this one. I'm just getting beaten down by everybody today. I don't think I've ever had a session where I had so many lost positions in one stream. In normal chess, it happens all the time, you know, 20 move games with one inaccuracy, but chess 960 is not so easy. But it was kind of a chess-like chess 960 position, admittedly. It almost was like a normal, semi-normal position. Early castling for both sides. I guess it was too risky for me to castle queenside, ultimately. White's slightly better. Played perfectly. But this is why I don't normally play d5, because I don't want lower rated players to draw me. But I felt like, alright, I've got beat down enough. We'll allow a draw. But I also, he's a very strong player. But I don't understand, again, why you're 2200 in rapid and lower in blitz. And I would think that you should be stronger than that. Alright, rating isn't so important. What am I doing now? Rook e1, queen back. People are better and better. Well, I can't take credit, you know, for everyone's strong play. I wish I could. I help a little bit. What little bit you can, but I think that 90% of improvement is really, you know, you get those people who are like, can you help me like gain like, you know, 200 rating points? And you know, I think the truth is that a lot of people don't want to realize that it's not about like, you know, paying for lessons and you automatically get better. I mean, 90% of getting better at chess is like your own hard work. No matter like if you're studying with, I don't care, you know, Mark Dvoretsky or something. You've got to work hard on your game, and it's up to you for the most part to improve. Drinking vodka right now. I hope it's evening at least. Man, I got crushed all day today. Not a very exciting position, this one. I'm going to take Haberbaum, Santa Claus, and Jacob. Try to get those 3 games in. We might run a little bit over. Usually Fridays is pretty busy for me, but I'll try to do it. The rest of the challenges are too much. I'm going to have to close. All you other guys, just take the next 3. That's the maximum I can do. Because Haberbaum is a subscriber, and the other guys are first in line. Jacob reconnected. So that's it. We're going to go a little bit over time. Last 3 challenges. Hopefully I can win a couple games. Queen b6. This is another really unpleasant position. Guess I can play like rook d6 or something strange. It's a very strange move to play, but I think it's forced. White's playing this game sort of scary. But that seems to be a trend today. Everybody, it's the day of perfect play by White, or whoever. Day of my opponents just playing like gods. Last game was godlike. Yeah, we got to take with the pawn here. This is still very unpleasant for black. I don't want to see White's center pawn loss in this game. Arsenal fan, you don't play like a god, and I don't play like a god. But some of the people I've been playing today are playing like gods. Namely, I take back in Tushar. The WFM didn't play like a god either. I just like lost on time. Alright. Another godlike move. Bishop c5. That's the perfect move too. Dude, what's going on here? Okay, rook b8. What? Well, he had to make a move there. I don't know what the best move is. His first ungodlike move. Whew, it's good to know. He's not actually God. I mean, he had to do something after bishop f6. What is the best move? Probably he should play... Oh, he doesn't have rook d2 because the bishop takes c3. There's also bishop a3, bishop takes c3. So I defended like a demigod in this game. I think that rook d6 was pretty damn brilliant, you know. Thinking outside the box, maybe only move. But still white was better, even after the desperate rook d6. We all blunder. Some of us more than others. But now he's got back rank problems. So like a3, a5 doesn't really help him, for example. He just constantly gets mated on the back rank. Any kind of tricks like rook d3, bishop takes b4. That actually... Yeah, rook d3, bishop takes b4, rook b3, rook d8. And he gets back ranked. So he ends up losing a pawn. And this is going to be like a very technical ending where black is better, but I'm not sure that I'm winning. Even now, pawn up. It's very tempting to play bishop f6 here. Man, that would be nasty. Now bishop e7 just wins. So if I play bishop c3, he has rook d8 check, trading into the ending. But if I go here, there is no answer. Well, the back rank mate. I mean, the other ending is probably winning, like the bishop ending with bishop c3, but they were very, very lucky. I mean, right about here is the critical position. White is still better. He just has to play very gradually, improving his position. Rook d7, rook b8. Now what? b3, bishop takes c3, and white is still slightly better with a rook on the 7th rank. I'm curious, when I played rook d6, was it the best move? The computer actually claims rook d5 is best. Wow. Rook d5 I looked at, and for some reason I rejected it, but that is even better than my self-proclaimed rook d6. Rook d6 is like okay, but still leaving me with some problems to solve. Alright, we're playing these last 3 games as fast as I can. I'm supposed to play Haberbaum. Haberbaum, I'll get you next. You know, Ananas thought that someone who played the other day was a cheat. Well, if anybody thinks that somebody's cheating, you know, report them or talk to me about it, but don't you know, don't accuse anybody like on the stream or something. If we can avoid it, I'd rather not, you know, make people feel bad, so shame them or whatever. If someone is suspected, you know, bring it to my attention or report them to lichess. Knight f3, f5, Santa Claus. I had a really nice game in this line a couple of months ago. It was like in January, I guess. My first game of the year. It's in my well, it's inevitable that someone would be cheating on my stream. I mean, you can't go forever without that happening, but you know, I don't think we're getting it very often. You know, I think like just because I'm saying people play perfectly doesn't mean I'm accusing them of being computers. Hopefully you guys are learning, thanks to me. And okay, what's up with d5? Why did I play e4? I don't normally play this, actually. I got confused. I was supposed to play d3. So I played the Lichess Gambit. I don't even know this variation. Well, Santa Claus is lucky. I got confused and played the wrong move. Well, the last people I expect are anybody who's like one of the subscribers, but random people who play, you know, on the stream will occasionally probably cheat against me. I used to get more angry about it, but now I just kind of go with the flow. Don't have to freak out. Knight f6, yeah, okay, this is probably some book. Knight f6, pawn takes pawn. h6, e5. Is that a variation? Oh my god, I guess we're going to find out. And he has a lot of weaknesses in his position. I'm tempted to just go back to f3. You will pay for your weaknesses, brother. I mean, I don't think that e5 is so good. He's got g6, big hole there. So we have compensation for the sacrificed nugget. Last two challenges for today. I'm going to play Jacob and Haberbaum, or Haberbaum first, because he is a subscriber. I'm going... that was a nasty tactic, bishop e7. Yeah, bishop c3 leads to a bishop ending. But if I play bishop e7... But you had played that game perfectly. Like, right up until the point where you played rook d7. If you just play, like, b3... Well, even that, like, if you play b3 instead of b4, it's a torturous endgame that's probably a draw for black. But I have to be accurate not to lose. And this is like the ultimate Petrov. e5, not the only way to play. Santa Claus gets experimental sometimes in the opening. Now, I was tempted to play knight c3 here. But that seems a little bit fancy, doesn't it? Maybe I should just castle kingside, huh? This is by far a more natural move. I don't really want to trade off my bishop, though. Unless I'm just guaranteed to win a pawn. But I have to be able to meet, like, bishop c5 with castles. I guess we should give serious consideration to taking on e4. Going to an ending with a better structure. Some problems, though. Bishop c5 and castles. I mean, I don't know what else black would consider here, realistically. The good thing about bishop c5 is that it might block his c-pawn from active duty, you know, controlling the center. Looks like a weird French or Nimzovich defense. Bishop c5, bishop takes e4, pawn takes e4, queen takes queen. That doesn't look so convincing to me, you know, because on knight d2 he has e3, trading off his weak pawn. I think black is okay there. I need to find another way. We could go like full-on Botvinnik style, you know, with like bishop e3. Strategic. Botvinnik versus Bondarevsky from the Soviet Championship 1963. Bishop e3, exclamation point. But I could just play like queen e2. It's sort of hard to argue with that. Knight a6. Well, that's a Petrov idea. Are you guys talking about this position? There's a certain weird similarity with this position and the Petrov's defense, because I play that with black. But obviously that doesn't go very, very deep. Something about the configuration of pieces is similar to the Petrov's defense, but not the pawn structure. Knight a6, knight b4 would be an idea. Yeah, that might actually be black's best move here. He went with knight c6. Now I win a pawn. He has limited compensation. Fortunately, he can't play b6 and activate his white-squared bishop. Now Botvinnik's idea is absolutely appropriate. The secret of the Tarrasch French. It's a blitz game. Time's up for me, but I'm doing an extended stream. I can't take Taurocus. I'm lucky I can take this. I'm taking an extra game. I really don't have quite enough time, but I'll manage. Okay, this is where Santa Claus starts to get tough. When he has a lost position and he's low on time, he becomes like an angry caged animal. I want to keep him restricted, but how? Rook d1. My dark squared bishop isn't playing. Not so easy to bust black here. Alright. And this could go badly quickly. Let me make sure I know what I'm doing here. Alright. It feels like I'm playing the Berlin defense or something. That's weird. Yeah. Not that easy to crack black. That is awkward. Black has a certain kind of compensation. His bishops look to provide some legitimate comp. And I'm a bit overextended, to be honest. This is absolutely the best move. Killing his knight. No, he has compensation. It's a weird thing, you know. Clear pawn down on the surface, but chess is complicated. I gave up my white squared bishop. It's a valuable piece. Simplify. I guess we want to simplify as much as possible. But I have to think a little bit too. Maybe bishop takes. I didn't like rook d5. It's a very strange move. Rook takes d4, rook d5. Now I can meet rook d5 with like knight somewhere. All right. I don't think this is a big deal. Why don't I just play G3? Holding on to our extra pawn, but he still has compensation. That's what I'm talking about. Like, he seems to get stronger when he has no time than when he actually has time. That's the thing about this guy that's weird. I'm a pawn up, but it's obviously a very tough position to make progress in. Crazy tactical idea, confusing him, and it worked. No mercy. All right, man. It's time to stop, but we have one more challenge left. Jacob, we lost somebody. All right, guys, this will be the last game for today. So, Haberbomb, I guess, had to go. All right, guys, last game for today. It was a nice trick with f5, but you might have had rook f7 when I played f5, king f4. There was some some king f7 trick, which I wasn't sure. Slemon, I don't know. Why did your challenge go away? Did you get disconnected? All right, bishop g5. This is a player I've never played before. Looks like a new account. He knows the main line of my Blumenfeld. That means you must have gotten disconnected or something. This is a line that most people don't know for white, you know, especially players under 2200. Masters might know it, but he instantly knows this. Maybe he watched my video series on the chess world. some people might randomly know this variation. It's funny, it's overlooked in a lot of books, like Richard Palliser's 1D4 book, a repertoire book from around 2006. That book doesn't even mention this variation. It's probably like black's best line in the black side of the Blumenfeld, and Palliser doesn't even bother to mention it. But it didn't really get popular until about really around the time when that book was published, maybe a little bit later. I decline your challenges, Chess Vodka. You're not here in time. You're like, you're showing up half an hour after the stream starts or something, so it's not about declining your challenges. E5, new move to me. I've never seen this. It feels wrong in principle, to release the tension, but maybe it's not that bad. Well, I don't think we really have too many options. I have to take it. Never seen this before. I guess I have to take with the bishop. New variation. Maybe playable, but white's given up the dark square bishop in a position where my dark square bishop gets kind of active. So I'm a little skeptical. But it's complicated. Alright. Wow. Knight c3. Doesn't develop his king side. Okay. Yeah, I have doubts about the way I played this. I missed my chance to play e4 last move. I thought, I'll play it whenever I want. But this is just a totally new idea for white. Knight c3 looks like a very strong move. I was expecting him to do something like bishop e2 or just castle, play for bishop e2 and castle, hoping for bishop d3, of course. But knight c3 is probably best. It looks like white's maybe actually better after knight c3. Misplayed this. Totally new variation, never played before, as far as I know. E5, theoretical novelty. But I mean, the really surprising thing is, like, I take and he instantly takes here. We're expecting knight takes e5, which was interesting as well. But he just insta-took on f6. And bishop c4. So I can't predict his moves. It seems to be something different every move. Now e4. I want my bishop to live. But it's not necessarily all that good for me. What do I play? Rook e8? It's complicated. Maybe I can play bishop takes b2 and then rook e8. This bishop on c4 is confusing me. Now there's all these like tactics on the diagonal sometimes. This is weird. I mean, I never once considered e5 for white as a possible move. Having looked at like, I basically studied this variation for like 50 hours or something, at least for black, and I never considered this e5. I mean, e5 in principle, seems wrong somehow, because the e4 is your center and you're like trading it off, but it has to be considered. This actually looks like black has to be precise. I think you should just take this, and then bishop takes b2 or rook e8, knight on fd2, and it's not so clear. Okay, maybe I have something. You know, I just realized rook e8, knight fd2, bishop takes d5. I didn't think about that. So maybe this is actually problematic for white. Okay, he has queen e2 there. Quickly played that, but this move... Obviously that's double-edged, putting his queen there, but it solves the problem for the moment. I think after this, it may be hard to protect the e4 knight. Oh, it doesn't actually work, though. Okay, because of my back rank weakness. So he just castles here with a solid position, I guess. Well, I don't know what's going on objectively. I can try to grab a pawn or two. He has weird tactics. Castles. Yeah, this wasn't so good for me. So there's just more questions than answers in this game. Just a question at every turn. He could just castle here. Bishop takes b2 seems greedy. Oh, I'm winning a piece because d8 is protected. Whoa. So I didn't see that till the last minute. Now I can't win. I can't win a piece. Weird game. But the variations in this opening are always weird. Pretty much every game is interesting. Our bishop is strong on d4. He's got a passed pawn. He can try to hold on to that. Now he's playing for tactics. But it's no problem immediately. I have to defend against knight f6 check. But do I have f5 at some point? I mean, now he's a pawn down, and I think the chances are that I'm winning. Rook takes b6 is a funny variation. Knight f6 check. Knight takes f6, rook takes b6. So I can't actually win the pawn directly, but I have f5. And that probably wins. But this is, even this is not clear, according to the engine. I'm better. But what a weird idea, e5 in the opening, man. Never seen it. It's fully playable. D takes e5. Theoretical novelty, e5 for white. But apparently bishop takes f6 is a mistake. There's no reason to do that. Still, it's not so bad. You should play knight c3 immediately. Interesting stuff to look at, guys. I gotta go. I'm gonna play this last game against... Where did he go? Now he's gone again. Okay, we lost him again. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna take off. I've gotta go. So no time for more challenges. And I will get out of here. I will see you guys Sunday with the simul at 7 p.m. or 6:30 p.m. Excuse me, 6:30 p.m. CET simul on Sunday. It's 20 players, 30 time control. I'm gonna finish up here. We lost our challenger again. Anyway, I'm like 15 minutes over time. So I'm gonna take care, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I will see you guys on Sunday. Thanks Soltigo for hanging out with us and moderating. Good games, guys. A lot of beatdowns today. It wasn't fun. I'll see you later. Bye.